Hello, 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 and welcome to Women's Wisdom Wednesdays, where we come together, Bianca and me, every Wednesday to empower women, foster connections, and thrive on our journey of surviving womanhood. Today, we have a wonderful guest, and her name is Farah Al Qaissieh. And she can pronounce her name for you better than I can. So we will allow Farah to do that for us. Who, after overcoming stuttering, is an empowerment coach, and she advocates for others who stutter. Her story is one of strength and inspiration. But before we bring her on, let's take a moment to address you, our audience. We want to remind you to visit our website at www.survivingwomanhood.org, where you can find valuable resources, connect with other women, and stay updated on our upcoming episodes. We encourage you all to actively participate, whether you're watching us live now or you're watching the replay, to ask questions and add comments. If you have a story to share, we would love to hear it. This is a safe space for us to learn and grow together. So now let's meet Farah. She's an empowerment coach, and again, an advocate for individuals who stutter. She's the founder of Stutter UAE, a support platform for people who stutter, and she is doing an amazing job. So despite the challenges that Farah's found, she's become an inspiration, and she's helping others who are experiencing something similar to what she's experienced. Her story is a testament to the power of finding joy, peace, and adversity. Peace among adversity. So I'm coming to you today from the great state of Alaska, and I'm Kasey, well-being specialist and whole life coach, and our beautiful co-host.
Hi, I'm Bianca, and I'm actually here in Southampton, and I'm also a coach with Surviving Womanhood with Kasey.
Thank you. So let's get started. Farah, we are so honored to have you here today. I've known Farah for a few years now, and she never ceases to amaze me. She is such an inspiration. The work that you're doing, Farah, is fabulous. It's just fabulous. And it's so incredible how you've navigated through these difficulties and found strength within yourself. So let's delve deeper into your experiences. Can you share some of the challenges that you've encountered during your journey and how you managed to find strength and fulfillment in your life?
First of all, thank you, Kasey. Thank you, Bianca, for having me here today. It's always a great opportunity for me to share my journey with stuttering, because it also serves me as a reminder of how far I've come. Because as we get into things, we kind of lose track of the journey. And in terms of challenges, I would say, well, growing up with a stutter in the UAE, in Abu Dhabi, hasn't been easy, mainly because there wasn't much awareness about stuttering. So people would mistake the way I speak with either being nervous, being shy, being unsure of what I want to say. And although now when I speak, I'm comfortable, even if I stutter. I remember experiencing a very odd incident in school, where a teacher kind of interrupted me from speaking, or interrupted me from reading out loud from a passage after I volunteered to raise my hand, and asked me to stop because I don't know how to speak. To me, that was shocking. But then again, now the adult me, the grown-up me knows that back then she didn't know what it meant, what I'm experiencing. And even though at that point, at 12 years old, it took me to shock. It took me into isolation, into and being an introvert, not wanting to socialize, not wanting to go out there and live my life as a teenager. Now I realize that was the seed that led me to where I am today. And I managed to find a sense of strength and fulfillment through avenues where I'm able to share my experiences, where I'm able to challenge myself and speaking up, because the 12-year-old me wouldn't have.
So that's a wonderful story. And again, it's a good reminder to all of us how just one person and one moment can affect how we move forward. And for some people, it's like it turbocharges their wanting to succeed. And for other people, it like lets out all of their petrol, right? Lets out all of their gas. So it's deflating, and they now become more withdrawn. So I want to follow up on that a little bit. So one of your teachers was a backwards inspiration to you, is what you're saying. She didn't understand what your situation was, right?
Yeah.
So how did your family, so tell us a little bit about where you're from and how your family reacted to the fact that you were a stutterer, or that you are a stutterer.
So I born, raised, and educated in Abu Dhabi, in the United Arab Emirates. And I'm the fourth out of 5 siblings. And my elder siblings don't stutter. Myself and my younger brother stutter. And my parents were very supportive of us, even though back then they had limited knowledge about stuttering or why we spoke differently. I recall my father always encouraging me to bring that big home video camera and read a passage and then watch yourself after that, just to see how it goes. And even though now it's considered outdated advice, at that time, it really helped me believe that even though I speak differently, I still belong here. I'm still accepted. I'm still part of this environment. And having a sibling and that stuttered, to me, I believe that has been one of my greatest blessings, because a lot of people who stutter go through it in isolation, alone, not only hiding it from the people around them, but also wanting to hide it from themselves.
So how has your brother done? How old is your brother now, and how has he done on his journey?
My brother would have been 31 years old, but he passed away 8 years ago. However, he has been, like, he was very, very resilient. It's funny how I managed to overcome my fear of stuttering through challenging myself into uncomfortable or unfamiliar situations, he found his channel, he found his release through art. So he would paint, he would draw, and I draw a lot of my strength from him.
Oh, that's wonderful. And on behalf of Bianca and myself, we're very sorry for your loss. But it sounds like he's still with you, that still inspiring you going forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here's a question. When you speak Arabic is your native language, correct?
Correct.
So this is a question I'm sure others are having out there, even though it seems pretty easy, I mean, pretty simple answer, but in Arabic, do you stutter as well?
I do, and I tend to stutter more. And it's quite common for people who stutter to stutter more in their mother tongue. Why, I'm not quite sure. I like to believe that I've created a persona of Farah that speaks English fluently than Arabic.
That's great. That's really great. Well, thank you. I think Bianca might have.
So the persona of Farah that speaks English, do you feel that's one of the strategies that you've had to sort of help you process and manage stuttering as you've gone on and grown and developed? Is that one of the ways you've adjusted to that? And if not,
believe
what
so.
other things would
and it's funny that once I've realized that I've created this persona, I began to challenge myself even more to doing more content or more interviews or more stuff in Arabic, just so that original version of myself does not get forgotten.
Yeah. And has that then progressed over time? Have you seen a change as you've more embraced that?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Wow.
yeah.
I'm just going to have a little look and see if we have any questions online. Let me have a look on Facebook for us. There's anybody there? If you there's no one, we don't have any questions for you at the moment, Farah, but hopefully if anyone has any questions, be a topic there many people can relate. There'll be lots of I would imagine lots of people very interested about your journey. So if you have, there's no one at the moment, but if there's anyone watching later on and you have any questions for Farah regarding the methods that she's used to manage and process stuttering throughout the years, please leave a comment at the bottom and we can get back to you later on once we've even finished this chat. So for other women that have you you've got an organization in the UAE, so you're obviously working with other people that are managing and living every day having a stutter. What advice do you have for people who perhaps haven't had the courage yet to sort of face this, particularly in a very public forum? What things could you suggest for them?
So as people who stutter, we tend to seek or want people around us to accept us with our stutter. But what we fail to realize is until we accept ourselves the way that we are, it might be a bit more challenging for others to accept us. So my advice would be realize that our voice matters, and the way we look at stuttering at Stutter UAE is not a speech impediment, but rather it's our accent. We all come from different parts of the world. We all speak differently. And all of that is accepted because it's familiar to the ears, it's familiar to our environment. But yet when it comes to our stutter, we tend to put so many hurdles, so many blocks in front of us that we don't realize that we are the ones who are putting it as well. So
Wow, that's
once
a
we learn
beautiful
to
way of
accept
looking
our
at it.
accent, things tend to become less scary.
That's lovely. Can you share with us, Farah, actually, for those who are watching who might be experiencing stuttering, could you give us a couple of the strategies that they might be able to begin to apply in their own lives?
For people who stutter, yeah.
Stutter, yeah.
I would first advise them to reach out to their local communities, to their local support groups. I know there's so many in the US, and I'm sure there's many all around the world. And be willing to explore new things, new ways. As I mentioned, for me, it was putting myself in unfamiliar, challenging situations. For my brother, it was painting as an outlet. Others, it's writing. Some even sing. It's just be curious about what do you think might work and take it further. Reaching out to a speech and language therapist would definitely add so much value. The ultimate strategy is to be willing to explore.
Thank you. And I want to, for all of those people out there who are watching, and I'm sure there are millions of them, so several people who are stuttering, or people who have a child who is a stutterer, or a sibling who is a stutterer, what kind of advice and suggestions might you give them to help them be more supportive?
Give them all the time and space needed to complete their sentences themselves. We tend to want to jump to help and relieve us from the experience of a stutter, but that just adds it adds a sense of a burden on us, because then we will assume my stutter is taking too much of your time, hence I will not speak. It's not that we don't know what we want to say, it's just that we need a little bit longer to have it come out.
That's that's really wonderful advice right there.
And I think from there, everything just kind of allows space for the rest of any other advice to flow.
Thank you very much.
So then, how do you feel as a person living with a stutter? How do you feel that has impacted your perspective on the world and on life, and also on your own self-care?
It made me more aware of myself and what's happening within me. For example, if I experience a day where my stutter is all over the place, it's severe, I'm not able to complete a sentence, and to me that's an outlier. It's not something that I would usually experience. I would check in with myself and see, have I slept well? Am I experiencing any extreme moods, whether it's good or bad? I'm super excited or I'm super upset. I realized for me, those contribute to my stutter being more severe. Like now, for example, It's close to my bedtime here, and my body is kind of telling me, Farah, it's I'm not used to this kind of light at this time. So what's happening? So I can see, I can feel it within me, even though it might not always appear outside. And it also definitely made me more compassionate, understanding, and empathetic to myself and to the people that I engage with.
That's really interesting. And would you say, Farah, that like if you're under more stress, that would also bring about that more stuttering in you?
I've realized for me that is the case, yes.
Okay, that's fantastic. So, Bianca, do you have anything else? Any other questions for Farah?
No, I don't. Thank you. No, it's interesting, Farah.
So, Farah, before we go to your key takeaways, is there anything else that you would like people to know? Anything you feel is important that you want to share? I have a question. I would like to know if you could share with us, aside from the moment with your teacher, a challenge that you faced in your life, a situation where your stuttering became a challenge for you and how you dealt with that.
I would say the other most memorable experience with stuttering, or challenge, I would say, was when this was before I got married, before I met my husband, when people would come and want to propose. And then they find out that I stutter. They go like, yeah, no, thank you.
Families, right? The families you're talking about? Like
Exactly. The families of the people who would want to propose. And I will not lie that has been very, very, at the time was very, very challenging. And despite me being accepting of myself and open about my stutter and all of that, it really struck something in me. And it also made me realize the amount of work that's still needed.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. And can you also share a little bit about how you felt? What was the feeling that you were experiencing through these challenges?
I would say the umbrella feeling is the feeling of lesser than, not being enough, not like everything that I believed in, everything that I've been working towards, and the person that I am will not be enough to many. And they will always look at me as someone who is, and for a lack of a better word right now, has a defect, it has something that's not appealing. So yeah, that would be the overarching.
So as long as I've known you, you've been a wonderful, extroverted, confident woman. And all of those things you just said, none of those things ever comes through in the woman that you are now. And so what I would like to know, and I'm sure we would all like to know, is how did you come from that feeling of lesser than to this beautiful, radiant, confident woman that you are now?
Thank you very much, Kasey, first of all. I would say that I started to share my stutter. And most of my presentations, whether in university or at work, or when I joined a new team, I would introduce myself as, hi, my name is Farah, and I stutter. So please bear with me. And I realized the more I said it, the less I stuttered, and the more comfortable I became with my stuttering moments.
Do you feel like that just coming right out there and saying it, which is amazing, was helpful for the others around you?
Absolutely. And even though that sentence still makes some butterflies in my stomach when I say it, it definitely helped us all address the elephant in the room, or the stutter in the room.
That's great. That's great. Bianca?
I don't have any more questions. We delved so deeply, and thank you ever so much for sharing with us your story.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
So let me begin to wrap us up here by bullet pointing some of the key takeaways, and you will let me know if I miss anything or get anything wrong. Okay.
All right.
So and then remind me to then allow you to tell folks where they can find you.
Sure.
Okay. And your wonderful organization. So self-care, find support groups, find others who are experiencing similar challenges, find strategies that work for you, begin to pay attention to your triggers and be mindful of those, and perhaps avoiding situations where you might be triggered, whether it's stressful situations or, like you said, when you're not feeling well or you're tired. I think sometimes, and you can let me know if you agree with this, when we're aware of what's happening and we're aware of the triggers, we can start to become aware within our bodies and within our minds when something might happen, or when your stutter might increase during a conversation or something. Would you agree with that? Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. And the thing I loved most, well, two things, I guess, about how you said for people to just be patient. Don't rush to help you finish your sentences. Give you the time that you need, because you know exactly what you want to say. It just takes you, perhaps at times, a little bit longer to say it. But if someone allows you that time and gives you that patience, shows you that patience, it will probably take less time, right? And then once someone jumps in, it feels more burdensome for you, because you feel like you're taking up too much of their time. And so you will choose often not to speak at all.
That's true.
So what did I leave out that was important?
I would just add that to change the personal perspective or perception of the stutter, or of the person who stutters. I'm aware that stuttering can be a challenge to many, to live with a stutter. Our internal thoughts don't also have to, they don't have to be a challenge as well. So acceptance.
Wonderful. And to look at stuttering as your accent, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You accent, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love that. That's fantastic. So
Thank you.
wonderful. So everyone, let's take a moment to send that love to Farah and to appreciate her for sharing her amazing and inspiring journey with us. Her strength and resilience are truly remarkable. And Farah, let us know, and we're going to put it into the comments along with this, wherever we are posting, where people can find you.
You can find me by visiting stutter, stutter.ae.
That's fantastic. That's easy.
Yep, that's the
And also that is for people, also people who are parents of stutterers are also invited to visit your site. Yes.
absolutely.
Okay.
People who stutter, family, friends, allies of people who stutter, everybody's welcome.
That's such a wonderful thing. So thank you again, Farah. And for everyone, we invite you, all of you, to share your stories. If you have a story, if you're a stutterer, or you're the mother or aunt or grandmother of a stutterer, please let us know. And perhaps you can give others tips and suggestions for how they can also be better advocates for those in their life who are stutterers. And if you are a stutterer, please get in touch with Farah. She's fantastic. She's so compassionate and so loving. You will never, ever go wrong by reaching out to her.
Thank you.
And so, thank you. If you also have any suggestions for us for future guests or future topics, we ask you to actively engage with the Surviving Womanhood community. We're at Facebook here where you're watching us now. If you're watching us on Facebook, at Surviving Womanhood, Ladies' Choice. I love that part. Is our choice, right? We make choices all of the time. And as women, we tend to have a lot of similar choices to make in our lives. And we want to hear from all of you about how you are coping, how you are surviving womanhood. So remember to mark your calendars and join us next Wednesday, August 2nd, for Women's Wisdom Wednesday at 12 p.m. Central Time in the US, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. in the UK, and 9 p.m. in the UAE. I just want to let everybody know, Bianca and I are so thrilled with what we're doing here, the amazing women that we are allowed to meet and bring to you. Their stories have been incredibly inspirational, and we don't want you to miss any of those episodes. So be sure to go back if you've missed any. All of our episodes are on our Facebook page and are on our YouTube channel, which is Surviving Womanhood. So be sure to check out any of the episodes that you've missed. And perhaps there's a topic that we've covered that someone you know could benefit from. So feel free to share. We would appreciate that as well. So before we wrap up, I wanted to extend again a heartfelt thank you and gratitude to Farah for joining us today and sharing her incredible journey of resilience. And look at her now.
Thank you, Kasey. Thank you, Bianca.
Your story has been an inspiration to us, and I'm sure so many others. And if you've been touched by Farah's story, or you have any questions for her, again, or you want to share any of your own experiences, we encourage you to reach out to Farah at stutter.ae, or reach out to us here on, if you're watching on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or any of our other, dots, and let us know. And just let us know how we're doing. Let us know how you're liking our format. And again, don't forget to mark your calendars for next Wednesday, August 2nd, where our guest is still to be announced, but we will have that either later for you today or tomorrow. And remember, together, we will continue to explore the remarkable survival stories of amazing women like Farah, who have faced adversity with courage and resilience. Thank you all for being part of this empowering community. And Bianca, before we go, would you like to say anything?
So thank you. Thank you, Kasey, as well. And it's so nice to meet you, Farah, and to hear your amazing story. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you again for having me. A platform like this is really, really impactful. Thank you.
Thank you, Farah. It's been lovely. And thank you to all of you for watching or listening or reading along with us today. And again, for the women out there, remember, together we can navigate the challenges, celebrate our successes, and thrive as women on our journey of surviving womanhood. So until next time, take care, and we will see you next week right here.